Alright, so how many of you guys got the first 2 pages done? Alright, so we should be good for the most part for participation wise. Alright, so let's just start with number 1. It says explain the difference between a statistical question and a non-statistical question. So what's the biggest difference between those two, Christiana?
A statistical question has variability, and a non-statistical question does not.
Alright, perfect. Okay, so, and variability. What does that word mean? What does variability mean? Because you're gonna see that a lot on your test tomorrow. Candace?
Spread.
Spread, so variety. Okay, so variability means variety. It means lots of different information, lots of different answers. Alright, number 2 says which data set shows less variability or spread?
Data set A.
Data set A? Alright, so stand up if you said data set A was one with what? Stand up. Don't stand up, just like put your hand up or something. Alright, so we all agree that A has less. Why? Why does A have less? Because it's closer together. It's not as spread out. The range is what? 8 minus 3, so 5. And then the other one is 9 minus 1, which is 8. Okay, so lots of different things to look at, but the biggest thing is that the data is clustered or close together. Alright, number 3, it says what could this dot plot be measured? So what do you think that dot plot could measure? How much what? How much candy? Okay, so how much candy did you eat? Alright, what else could it be measuring? Troy, how many questions did you get right? Alright, what else? So,
Kids' ages at a birthday party.
okay. There's obviously lots of other ones that we could do as well, but just kind of looking at it and make sure that it doesn't stand, like it's not something like crazy, like, I can't even think of like a bad example right now. What?
How many times you shower?
How many dogs? What if your dog just had puppies? That's very rare, but yeah, so you could say, how many animals do you have? You might have a lot or not a lot. So it's really just, like I said, I can't think of a bad example right now. So this next question says what percentage of students in the dot plot spent more than 5 hours on homework? So now, how do we go about solving this problem? So how do you guys go about solving this problem? Yeah. No, can't.
I found the median and the mean of 5, and I knew that every quarter is 25%, so anything past 50 would be 25%, and I added 50%. So I got 50%.
Alright, so you found the median, and you said the median was 5, so 5 is in the middle. So I should have 12 dots to the right and 12 dots to the left, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So is our median 5 or is it 4? 4. Alright, so technically, or actually no, I lied. Yeah, so our median would be 4. So this is our median. Alright, so median is 4. Now I like the thought process that he had though, because he said, well, if you find the middle, you know that the middle is 50%, right? So how can we maybe use that information to find the correct percentage? Anybody?
When it says spent more than 5 hours, So you could look to the,
Would it be include 5?
no,
Okay,
so you could look to the.
right.
what is it? Right, yeah, right. There you go. And then you can go from there, which would be 75%. Wait,
Well, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 that spent more than 5 hours. So you could also just do 6 divided by 25 and get your percentage. To do it that way, you can find your Q1, Q2, Q3. Do it that way. All right. So everyone, somewhere on your paper, I want you to do the 6 divided by 25 and see what you get. 6 divided by 25 and see what you get. Camden, what'd you get?
4,176.
No, you can't get, if you're doing 6 underneath and 25 divided by, or 25 on the outside, you're gonna get a decimal. Okay? William.
I got 0.24.
Alright, so you end up with 0.24, and when we take 0.24 and we change it to a percent, you end up with 24%. So that is how many students spent more than 5 hours on homework. Alright, also they give you this hint right here about your data. So if they give you hints and whatnot, use those hints. Okay? Alright, let's go on to the next one. It says describe the shape spread of the graph. So what about our shape, our spread? What do you notice? What do you see? What do you write? Aiden?
There's an outline.
Ooh, outlier. And what is an outlier?
It's a number that's away from the rest of the data.
And how does it affect our data? Does it skew it? You know what the word skew means?
And makes it smaller.
So essentially, if you have an outlier, and depending on if it's on the lower part of your data or the higher part of your data, it's going to mess up your data a little bit, isn't it? It's going to make your median lower or your median higher, and it won't be as accurate of like a measure of your center or your spread. All right, what else do you notice about the shape? What else do we notice about the shape?
there's not much of a variety.
Okay, so not a ton of variety. All right, anything else you guys noticed, Troy?
The majority of the dots are between like 6 and 1.
Okay, so majority are between where? 6 and, all right. Number 6 says true or false. Most of the data in this dot plot are at least 6 kilograms. So we're using, looking at this. So how many of you guys say that that is true? That they're at least 6 kilograms? Am I speaking to the ceiling? So, nobody knows. Nobody answered this question. Camden,
I put false.
why?
Because
Well, if we're looking at the stop plot, guys, it's saying that it's at these 6. Well, from 6 to 10, there's a whole lot less data than there is from 0 to 6, right? So it's false. Like, this is not a trick question. It's not a trick question at all. And it's because majority are between 0 and 6. All right, what is a typical weight in kilograms for the data in the stop plot? Roddy.
3 kilograms.
30 kilograms. How'd you know that?
It has the most
Right.
dots in it.
Right, it's got the most, and the majority of the data that has the most is between 2, 3, and 4, right? Number 8, true or false, the stop plot could be showing the individual weight of a group of, ants. Think of an ant. Look how small an ant is. Sometimes you don't even feel the ant walking on you because it is so light, and a kilogram has thousands in it.
Oh, I knew that. Oh, yeah, we already knew that.
This is false.
I know.
Y'all are killing me. All right. Number 9, it says, what would be a typical age for the data in this histogram? So what would be a typical age for the data in this histogram? What do you think?
60.
60? Why'd you pick 60?
Because the histogram, there's like, it says 5. Did I say 5.0 or is that 50?
It's just 5.
So 5. And it's like the tallest one out of all of them. So that probably means that there's more.
Okay. Remember, it's a histogram. So does a histogram have a specific number? No, doesn't have a specific number. So what is the range that Delilah was talking about? 50 to 60. So we would say, how many of you guys said 50 to 60? Okay. Did anybody pick something different? Did anybody pick 30 to 50? You did what?
Because I found the load of the
You found the mode for number 9.
For number 9, it says that since 50 appeared the most, is the average.
Okay, and again, this is a histogram, so it's not just a specific number. But you're saying so the 50 to 60 range also. Okay? All right, so nobody else picked any other numbers. Okay. Well, I'll show you what it is like to find the median of a data set using a histogram. That. Because remember, our numbers are not 20, 30, 40, it's 20 to 30. And we have 2 of those, right? So when you're finding the median of histograms and the mean of histograms, you're having to group the ranges. Yeah, it gets a whole lot harder due to the fact that you have 2 numbers, technically. So it's like this. So it'd be 20 to 30, and then 20 to 30. So that technically is one number right here, if we were finding like the regular median. Okay, and why did I put 2 on there? How many fall into the group of 20 to 30? 2. All right, you will not have to do that. That is probably 7th grade next year.
I haven't even seen a histogram in 7th grade.
You what?
I haven't seen a histogram in 7th grade.
You haven't seen it? I know that you used to have to do that in 6th grade, but I don't know where they put it. They've changed and moved so much that, like, we used to also do, like, math. You don't do math in 6th grade at all anymore. So, I don't know. All right. So, yes, we're gonna say, what did we say, the median is between 50 and 60. Alright, describe the spread or shape of the data in the histogram. So what do we notice about the spread or the shape? What do you guys notice? Lily?
There's an outlier.
Okay. Which is,
Not 90 to 100.
okay.
Cut off from the rest of the data.
Yep. Alright, what else do we notice? Okay.
Notice the one from 80 to 90.
Okay. Alright, what else do we notice? What else do we notice? Delilah.
From 30 to 40, it looks equal.
From 30 to 40, what?
It looks equal. It looks equal.
Looks equal? So 30 to 40 or 30 to 50?
Oh yeah, 30.
So 30 to 50 have same amount? Alright. Anything else you guys want to add? You should not be writing on the whiteboard. Should you? So go put it on the back table since you can't sit there with a whiteboard on the table without messing it up. I mean, if y'all don't want to review, we can just start the test today. I don't have a problem with that. Alright, number 11 says, the low temperatures last week in degrees Fahrenheit were 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 45, 47. What was the average of the low temperatures? Alright, so what do you have to do here to figure this out? What do you have to do here? I need some new hands. Isaac, what'd you do to figure this one out?
I basically added up all the numbers and divided by 7.
What did you divide by 7?
Because there's 7 numbers.
Okay, so when you added them all up, what was your total?
My total was 22.
And you divided it by 7, and you ended up with 40 degrees. Thumbs up if you got that right. That's not very many thumbs. Alright, number 12 says the mean of your 5 quizzes is 92. Your first 4 quizzes were 90, 100, 91, and 93. What did you get on the 5th quiz? Alright. No, what'd you get?
I didn't do it because, I mean, I did it, I added all the numbers up, but then I didn't know what to do, so I skipped it. But then I saw your answer, so I wrote it down.
Alright, so, somebody who did do this and wants to try to give an answer. Ronnie, what'd you come up with?
Fact 90.
90, okay, so anybody come up with something different? What'd you come up with? 86, what'd you come up with? 86. Alright, so the process in which you need to do this is you would add up the 4 scores that you have. So you're adding up the 90, 100, 91, and 93. You are dividing that by 4, which gives you 93 and a half. Alright? Or can you do something else? But what's another way you can do it?
I found the mean, but backwards.
How?
So first I did 92 times 5 because it's 90, and then I just kept subtracting the 4 numbers that were already listed until I got 86.
That doesn't make, that sounds like a whole lot of work.
I just did the mean back. I just got the mean but backwards.
Right, but then you had to keep going and keep going, keep going. How did you know where to stop?
Once I did all 4 numbers that had already been listed.
I don't understand. Like, I need you to explain it better. So you did the mean backwards, so you did 92 times 5, which gave you what?
460.
Okay.
And then I did 460 minus 100, and about 360 minus 90 equals 270 minus 91. I got
So do you see how much work and time and effort you spent on this question? the mean. I mean, it might not have been much for you, but that's a lot of work and a lot of energy and a lot of time. I'm not saying that it's wrong, so stop shrugging your shoulders and being disrespectful. I'm just simply saying there's a lot of work that you're spending. Is there a different way that is a little bit easier? So you can definitely do the way she was talking about and doing 460 divided by 5, which will give you 92. Or multiplying these two and getting 460. How does 460 help us? How does knowing 93 and a half help us? Anybody? Alright, cool. Let's just move on since some of us want to try. Lily, thank you for sharing your process that you did do though. You did get the right answer. Okay? Alright, number 13. The colored pencils in your pencil pouch have the following blanks: 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. What is the median? Alright, so what do we have to do to solve this problem? Troy? What do you have to do before you start crossing things off? Or make sure they're in order, right? Okay? Okay, and then when you do that, what do you end up with? Okay? You can either add them together divided by 2 or know that the number that falls between 5 and 7 is 6. Alright, number 14, it says write the 5-number summary of the following set of data: 5, 7, 8, 10, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 20. So start with the easy ones. What is our minimum and our maximum number? Noah.
5 and 20.
Okay. What is our median? What is our median? Christiana.
10.5.
What is it?
10.5.
Yep. What is our Q1? Mikael? What is it? 8. What is our Q3? Yasmin? What was it? 15, yes. Alright, so this one's saying compare the 2 box plots. Not necessarily a right or wrong answer here, it's just kind of what you see and how you compare them. So, what's something you wrote? One thing you wrote. Hi. B has a greater range than A. Here, Jenna. So B range is greater than A range. Alright, what else? Camden.
Median of box plot B matches, box plot A's quarter 3.
Okay. What else? Emma.
Both maximums are 100.
Both what?
Maximums.
Okay. Alright, what else? Kylie, what else? The what?
The minimum.
Minimum's different? Alright. Mikael. So A has a higher what? Alright. Number 16, it says predict if the mean would be greater than, less than, or equal, approximately equal to the median in this dot plot. Then find the actual mean and median. How does it compare? So what is your prediction? Like what was the prediction for the median? Start with that. July.
Like the number or
Like what did you predict without finding it?
I thought the median would be 3.
Okay.
There's more dots there.
Okay. What about the mean? What do we think the mean was? But why? Like, what was your reasoning that you thought that the mean would be less than the median?
I don't have a reason. I just thought,
You're just like, I'm just gonna pick that the mean is
Yeah.
smaller than the median? Okay.
yeah, and I was wrong.
Alright, does anybody have a reason why they picked their mean with the way that they picked their mean to their median? Emma?
Greater than, because there's more dots and I don't agree that the three would be the median too.
Okay. Alright. So, your median is 3. So that is your median. So if you pick that, kudos to you, you got that one right. Your mean is 4 and 1400. If you do the calculations correctly. Okay, so which one's greater? Or let me rephrase that, would you say, how many of you guys would say that you did it right? You guessed right, that you said your mean was going to be greater than your median. Okay, so the rest of us did not, we thought our mean was gonna be smaller.
Yeah.
That was a question. Do we think our mean was going to be smaller?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Why, Ronnie? You just, that's just what you.
I just guessed.
Okay, did anybody have a logical reason why they picked that their mean would be smaller?
I thought it was gonna be smaller because if 3 was the median, then once you add them all together and divide by 2, it was gonna be a decimal, and so I'm gonna be like, if it's a decimal, it has to be smaller than 3.
Did anybody see the outlier? So if you saw the outlier, you should have known that your mean is going to be what? It's gonna be what? It's gonna be bigger. So that's kind of what this question was asking you to look at, to find that outlier. So knowing that you have that outlier, you should know that your mean is more than likely going to be bigger than your median. Alright, moving on, number 17 is select all true statements about a dot plot. So stand up, sit down. Stand up if you picked A, you can find the median of a dot plot. That is true. Alright, stand up if, have a seat, sorry. Stand up if you can find the mean of a dot plot. Everybody stand up.
Yeah.
So we did the median. Right. So why people are like hesitant to, no, you better get on those 2 little feet. You can find the mean. Have a seat. Stand up if you think you can find the exact range. Do you have a minimum and a maximum in your dot plot? Yes, you do. Alright, have a seat. Stand up if you can tell that the data is generally symmetrical or not, which means it looks the same on both sides. So like, for example, like this one's fairly symmetrical minus this. This data, not as symmetrical because there's a lot more going on than there is over here. This data, very symmetrical because it's very similar on both sides. So can you tell with a dot plot? Okay. And then have a seat. This is the most efficient way to show a lot of data values. Do you know how many dots you'd have if you had 100 pieces of data put on your chart? You'd have 100 dots. So it's not always the most efficient way. Sometimes it might be the only way, but it's not the most efficient way. Alright, number 18. Select all true statements about a box plot. So we're talking about one of these now. Alright, stand up if you can find the median. Have a seat. Stand up if you can find the mean. You cannot find the mean. Why can you not find the mean? numbers do you have?
Five.
5. You only have 5 of the numbers, the minimum, maximum, median, Q1, and Q3. So you cannot find the mean, so that one is not gonna work. All right, stand up if you can find a range. Good?
Almost died.
All right, you can find the range, whether you're finding the IQR or the actual range itself. All right, and then stand up if you can tell the data is generally symmetrical or not. That is very true. You cannot, because it might look symmetrical, but there might be a whole lot of lower numbers to maybe 1 or 2 higher numbers. So you cannot tell. All right, number 19, it says select all true statements about a histogram. You can find the median interval. Did I prove to you can? Remember that thing I just showed you guys where you have a whole bunch of numbers? So yes, you can. You can find, you can find the mean. Not find the mean. You can find the exact range of the data. Because it's intervals, it's not numbers, right? So looking at this one over here, we know that the range is 20 to 30, but do we know if there's a 20 in there? Because think about our histograms that we did. Our range was 16 to 18, but our lowest number was 18, right? So you cannot find the exact range. You can tell if the data is generally symmetrical or not. So that one is true. All right, we're almost done. So number 20, it says what percentage of students in the dot plot spent less than 3 hours on homework? Joy,
I said
30%?
40.
40%? Okay, why did you say 40?
Because I figured every 5 points equals 20%. It's 25 dots. And there's 10 behind 3. So that would equal 40%.
Okay. All right. Did anybody come up with an exact percentage? What?
Okay, so what I did was I realized there's 9 dots that were less because I said there were 9 dots and I had 25, and 25 times 4 would be 100, so then 9 times 4 would be 36. So I'm at 36.
Okay. Well, your math is wrong, but your answer is right. There are 10 dots because you got to include 0 too. But yes, you can do that as well. 10 divided by 25 equals 40%. All right, it's kind of what you did. I just did it mathematically. Or you can break it up into 5s. It's really whatever process you get. I don't really care as long as you get that in. Okay? All right, flip it over. Number 21. It says, which data shows more variability? Spread or so the spread. So data set A or data set B? Elisa, which one? So more spread. So B, because it's more spread out, right? There's more answers. A is just a little bit more clustered together. Number 22 says the average low temperature last week in degrees Fahrenheit was 40, 42, 44, 37, 35, 30, and 25. What was the average low temperature round to the nearest whole number? All right, easy peasy. All right, what did you get when you added them all up? 12?
I got 253.
Okay.
253
Divided by,
divided by 7.
okay, which gave you
61.5. yeah, 63, no, not 63, 36.1, but I rounded out. and I got
Lord
36.
have mercy, child.
I'm
Yes,
stuttering.
that was a little scary, but I think we got it. So yes, your answer for this one should be 36, because when you add all those numbers up, you get 253. Why did you divide by 7?
Because I counted how many numbers there were.
And it's also a week. How many days are in a week?
7.
Alright, number 23, it says predict if the mean would be greater than, less than, or approximately equal to the median. What do you guys think? Let's do it this way. Stand up if you think it's gonna be greater. Okay. Stand up if you think it's gonna be less than. Stand up if you think it's gonna be approximately equal. You know, that means approximately equal. So they are almost equal.
Oh, that's what it meant? I thought it was just waves.
I thought that been rounded to.
Alright, number 24 says 6 worms were measured in centimeters 5, 6, 7, 11, 13, 14, and 28. What is the difference in the median and mean length, which seems like a better measure of center? Alright, so what did you get when you found the median? What'd you get when you found the median? Troy, you were finished, right? So what'd you get? Okay. Alright, what did we get when we found the mean? Billy? Okay, so essentially, when we find the difference of these two, it's 1. Right, so that was the first part, it says what is the difference? So 1 inch is the difference between the mean and the median. Which one do you feel is a better measure of center though? Which one do you feel is the better measure of center? Why?
Because the median's the middle of the day.
And you have this crazy big number right here, right? And what would we call that? So we have these numbers that are real close, and then we have this one way over here. Outlier, which skews our mean, right? So the median is better because it isn't affected by the outlier. Alright, you do have your test tomorrow, so you definitely need to look over the study guide tonight. Your test is 20 questions. You will not be allowed to use a calculator. There are some mean questions on there. There are some median questions on there. There's a couple box plots, a couple histograms, a couple dot plots, lots of statistical questions. Okay? And then we are officially done with 6th grade material after tomorrow. So good job. You have about 9 minutes, so just use your time wisely, get on American Math. If you're down, get on Lexia or read theory. Huh?